This is probably the last video that I'll actually do on the subject of the case before the end of the Kickstarter. It's just to answer a couple of points, and really I want to mention, another good reason for trying to get the amount raised as high as possible. But first, as you can see, as it stands right now, we're at 71,497, and last night during the stream, which as you may or may not be aware, I had the wonderful Trevor on, and he was really good. So the stream's still there if you want to go and have a watch it. But as I said in the introduction, I think Trevor's probably done more than anyone else for the Amiga. So so thanks to him for coming on board, and also mentioning about the Tabor being ready in May. That's actually helped a lot of people to decide to buy the case. So that's absolutely fantastic, and thanks for Trevor for coming on last night. Right, I suppose the key thing, because someone's actually mentioned, why don't you do a stretch goal? Well, there is actually a stretch goal, and it's for this slot loading. As you're all aware, that the main reason for the cases, the Kickstarter, is to do the injection molding tools, which are very expensive, about 22.5 grand. I've already shown the picture, so I won't bother showing it again. But and it allows us to make these individual inserts that go into the front panel and allow you to adapt it to suit what you want. And we've done 3, which is one of these, a blank one, and an Amiga floppy panel insert. So the fourth one, which I think is quite important, was I wanted to be able to put a slot load so you can put a DVD drive in there. Now, there are very few need. DVDs are obviously not very popular nowadays, and so it's kind of a dying thing, but it's nice to have as an option, and follow the aesthetic of the machine if you want to put a DVD drive in there. Now, LG do a slot load. They're actually quite hard to find, and I will obviously give the information if I haven't already done that about it. But as I put here, if we can reach 90,000 stretch goal, then I'll do that panel as well. It obviously seems like that's 12,500. Well, just so you know, the tooling for that alone is £3,500, and then of course the usual calculation about paying for the cases. So that's why it's at that kind of figure. Realistically, if I can get to 85 to 88, 89, something like that, then I'll go ahead and do it, because the math will work. But there is another thing, and which I want the potential backers to be aware of, and the ones I've already backed. I'm trying to obviously make this the best quality possible, but it's not just about the case itself. There's the whole packaging. Now, at the moment, I've budgeted for a brown cardboard box. We're trying to keep everything recyclable as much as we possibly can. And I know, yes, it's a plastic front, I get that. But we're trying to make the actual packaging as recyclable as possible. So we're doing things there. And at the moment, we've got a very small budget for packaging to make sure, excuse me, that it's securely delivered to you from anywhere in the world. However, what I really want to do is go a bit overboard on the packaging, because I want to make, I'll give you an example. The original Amiga 1000, I never bought new, so I never had the box for it, but I've seen the boxes and I'm really jealous, and they're just absolutely fantastic. And so ideally what I want to do is create a nicely, I've already spoken to Paul, who did the 3D art, about coming up with some ideas for packaging, graphics, and again, this is not guaranteed. Let's take it for now that you're going to get a brown box. It's securely packaged and everything will be safe, and you open it up and your box will be in there. but what I want is an unboxing experience. So we've got planned, if we can get the budget. Now I may even consider, sponsorship's the wrong word, but you know, that kind of thing, to help fund this packaging, because it is surprisingly expensive to make custom boxes. Now of course, if you do a custom box and packaging, apart from the fact the cost goes up quite a lot, you need then another box to put that in, but that's a side issue. There's also, it's not just the box. I want to do a nice manual to go with it, and I've got Phil South that's obviously going to be really good at this, and we'll use the graphics from the designs. And so there's obviously going to be videos, and there's going to be, you know, like how to build videos, and, you know, problems videos, and anything, you know, trying to cover all the avenues, because obviously it's not building a computer case. If you've not done one, it's not difficult, but if you haven't done one, there's lots of things it's useful to know, and to be aware of before you go steaming in. And to have a nice manual explain that as well, I think would be really nice. And you know, so it's, as I said, if we can get the budget, if we can get the value up, the higher that we can get it, I think you're going to probably have to, theoretically, really going to have to add another £10,000 onto the Kickstarter, because, you know, remember that 75% of the money on the Kickstarter is to pay towards the molds, and to pay for, although actually once you get over and you go into the, once you get past that first 500, actually it's a lot, it is less actually, so there's more room to maneuver. But if we can get another £5,000-10,000 on the pledges, then there'll be budget there that I can do this packaging, because it's, you know, the other thing is, obviously I think there's 500, maybe we'll get to 1,000 of these cases into the Amiga community, and I look forward to the unboxing and the comments, good and bad. Hopefully they'll be good. We're going to do some testing with people to see how they get on with the cases before I actually release it. But I'm outside the Amiga community, I'm obviously targeting this case to the retro fans, and of course the big thing is the unboxing videos. So, you know, the product obviously has to stand up on its own, but the first impression is the unboxing video. And so I really want to do that, because yes, it's going to benefit me, obviously it's going to benefit myself and my family. If this takes off, it is going to benefit us. But there is also a long-term thing here that we'll hopefully you'll realize that my aim is to try and bring people back to the Amiga community. You know, for fun, not to replace Windows or anything silly like that, but to give people a nice experience and have them come back to the community. And because there's a lot of us, we're very diverse, and lots of different avenues you can go down. So and you know, so that's my long-term aim. Now, if it becomes a reasonably profiled case, because there are no desktop cases, so it may actually help there. That may well help the goal. Obviously, the more money it makes, the more I can fund other areas, because I've already funded in the past. I mean, as people know, I've funded AROS, and so I'm obviously a fan of AROS, but you know, I'm also quite happy. One reason for funding AROS is because everything's open source, then everyone else can share the code. So that makes a lot more sense to me personally, and that's where I tend to put my limited amount of money. But if this is a success, then, you know, in the outside world, then there'll be more money maybe floating around that we can do some more things with. So I'm greatly aware of the power of the unboxing video, to get people, you know, well, before they even get to the product, that if you have a nice experience. So it's another reason to keep pushing. Yes, I know, I mean, it's the usual, it might sound like the usual, oh yeah, you want more money. Well, no, yes, it's true, because the actual pledge target is, apart from allowing for problems, is pretty much the bare minimum amount to get the product out there. So and over the top of that is really just is obviously bonuses. So but yeah, so hopefully, as I said, we are we are doing really well. Let me just show you the chart. I like this chart. I do like this chart. So if you can see, you know, it started and it leveled out and then it just went skyward. Don't worry about that little bit there, because that was last night 12 o'clock, and that's this morning, so that will go up. It grew 7,500. I think it was 7,500 it grew yesterday. 63 to 71. It might be more than that, nearly 8,000. So that was a massive boost yesterday, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the mail shot that Philippe sent out. So thanks for that. But we got till tomorrow night 8 p.m. I will be doing a stream at the end of it. So as I mentioned to people, I've got friends coming over. Downstairs we'll be having a few drinks and dinner and that, but that's all starting after the completion of the Kickstarter. And so I'll have a stream going, and we'll celebrate this all together. I'll put that up later on today. But for all those that have pledged, thank you. For all those who wanted to pledge but can't afford it, thank you for thinking about it. And as I said before, if you can't afford it, please don't pledge. I suppose it just goes. I suppose the final thing should be the embarrassing dance last night during the stream. Everyone said, if you reach 70,000, will you do a dance? And I don't know how it came up, but yeah, all right, I'll do a dance, because I like dancing, of course. It's not exactly the ideal thing to do, but yes, it reached 70,000. So I'll leave you with the dance. You may decide to remove your pledge after this, but just for a bit of fun. So this is the point. If you watch down here, if you watch the clip, and then you can see what happens, and then and after this, that'll be the end of the video. But again, thanks very much, and I will hopefully see you on Tuesday evening in the live stream. Right, I'm just gonna open up. No, wait. Okay.